Good morning, everybody. I had to do a video on this. I couldn't let this go by without doing a video on it. So the latest thing is the Supreme Court, and I'm sure you heard about this, blocked the so-called OSHA mandate of which originated with Biden, which was just a workaround to try to get around the law using OSHA instead of just coming straight out and saying, we're saying this. They try to do a workaround. But it has to do with the mandates requiring employers and federal employers, basically federal employers, to require that people got the vaccine. And this is what the Supreme Court was talking about, so this should be able to be freely discussed on social channels, okay? So when the Supreme Court came out and said that they were blocking this, that it wasn't basically what they're saying is it wasn't legal. What does that mean? Well, it means it wasn't law. And I have said all along, and numerous other people have said, that mandates are not laws. Mandates are not laws. So this is going to bust things wide open. I went to Fox News to watch their commentary on it, which I never watch mainstream media, but I had to watch their commentary. And mainly I went there not so much for the commentary of the talking heads, but for the commentary, the comments on the YouTube channel underneath as to what people were saying. Based on that, I would say that people are pretty pissed off. Over 400 comments that I read or scanned to that effect. So is this going to break things wide open here? Are people going to finally realize that they have been screwed and taken advantage of? Now, my commentary is that these people, since this ruling came down, it's not too much of a stretch, okay, to extrapolate this out and say that if people were tricked, okay, I don't care if it was a workaround or not, if people were tricked, then they were not only tricked, but their lives were put in jeopardy and their children's lives. It had a domino effect. I don't care if the mandate was just for federal workers. I don't really care about that. What I care about is the fact that the psychological effect that had on other businesses and stuff. Well, if they're making it a mandate for the federal, this must be pretty bad. And so other companies that didn't have federal employees kind of fell in line with the big lie, the big mandate lie about this is law. No, it's not law. And I have friends that I know that I tried everything I could to talk them out of, even though they were threatened with their jobs, to talk them out of taking this course of action. And now these people that have done this, and other people, and distant family members, and relatives, and things of that nature, that have fallen into this trap, well, it's going to be a big vindication for people like myself and people scores of other people. When you look at the comments on Fox, you realize, no, there's not just a few people refusing to do this. There's lots and lots of people. And the ones that have done it are pissed off because they've had relatives die. So it is said in the comments. And I believe this because that's not something that doesn't occur with any pharmaceutical, but an untested one is pure suicide, in my opinion. So this was an interesting thing that came out today. Now, do I think that the justices on the Supreme Court are angels? Hell no. Hell no. I think that the only reason that the majority of them ruled this way was because they wanted to cover their ass from the hanging tree. They wanted to cover their ass, okay? Because I'm sure they realized that pressure is building amongst the populace. Pressure is building. They can see this if they're not stupid. And are they gonna take the brunt of the anger because some administration or government tried to trick people? Well, no, they're not. But to me, that doesn't save their ass. That doesn't save their ass. Not by a long shot. So there is no motives on any part of these people, whether it was the Biden administration or the Trump administration before that. They're all criminals, and they should be treated as criminals. They should be tried and hung, or just hung. That's what should happen to these people. I imagine that this could be the straw that broke the camel's back, in a sense, that a lot of people that caved in to the agenda and their loved ones caved in, and maybe they had loved ones that didn't make it, that were killed by or passed on from this agenda. I think that this could be the straw that broke the camel's back. I hope that it's the straw that broke the camel's back. I hope that people in masses rise up, okay, and do what needs to be done now. It's not about politics, people. I've said that time and time again. It's not about politics. Excuse me. It's not about this guy or that guy. It's not about one side or the other politically. It's not about that. They're all criminals. Trump is a criminal. Biden's a criminal. Trump is the one that instituted Fauci. And this thing was just carried on further, okay, down the line with Biden. But it was started probably decades ago. This was all planned out. Yeah, I don't think the Supreme Court, the people that voted the way they did, I don't think that they were thinking of the people or anything else except their own ass. That's the only reason that this went down the way it did. I have no faith in the Supreme Court or any court of justice or any DOJ or any FBI or any CIA, three-letter agencies. What the problem here, people, is government in general. Am I an anarchist? Well, hell yes, I'm an anarchist in a certain sense. Anarchy does not necessarily mean people running around in chaos and doing this, and that's what we got now, that kind of anarchy. But true anarchy has nothing to do with chaos. It has to do with being free from the government and not having the government control our lives, okay, and being self-sufficient groups of people, okay, around the globe, small communities of people. I'm talking about small bands of people. That's the way things should be. That's the way things should be. I've recently got involved. I'm not going to mention the name right now, but I have noticed that there are certain movements popping up, and they are done on a very low-key level. And they are very well organized, and they have some very, very good people behind them. And they are not of the ilk of having government tell us what to do or politicians to do. Basically, they are freedom warriors in a sense, and there is a huge organization around the planet, and not just the group I'm talking about, but other groups are forming cells, okay, of people. And a cell would be like 8 people, same as in a platoon. And these cells that are being organized are communicating with each other, or will be to a greater degree. It's just kind of like, it's not just getting off the ground, but it is to the point where things could move very, very rapidly, as far as, I'll call them freedom cells. Things could move rapidly with people communicating with each other on a completely underground level. And by underground, I'm talking about encrypted email and encrypted sites on the internet. That means nobody can come in, the government, like, let's say if you get an encrypted email, you will cease getting any kind of spam or advertisements or anything like that. It's totally under the table, under the radar. Nobody can intrude upon encrypted means, okay? That's the movement that I'm seeing right now happening. I'm seeing people going underground and forming cells, forming freedom cells, and actually having, I won't say commanders, I'll say leaders, teaching them the way to hook up, okay, with each other. And what is their purpose? Their purpose is to live in a non-governmental society, to have a grassroots movement that moves out slowly and pushes out government entities as far as self-reliance. And I'm talking in all areas. This is what is needed. This is what has been needed for a long time. People to organize. So what I'm saying here is there's a group of people whole different than these truthers and the alternative media, and they don't work that way. And I've talked about this before. They don't work that way. They're not out to make money. They're out to connect with one another, support one another, give one another hope, real hope, tangible hope, that you can believe in. because you're part of it, and you're communicating with other people, and you're realizing that a movement is going on. None of this stale bullshit where people are sitting around watching truthers and patriots and the alternative media and the mainstream media. None of that is happening with this movement. That's the way to go, and I'll be talking more about this later. But that's enough on it for now. The main thing that I wanted to bring out today was the fact that the Supreme Court, as crooked as they are, this could be a signpost. This could be a breakthrough in regards to just the masses out there scratching their head and going, wait a minute, what the fuck? They put one over on me. I either quit my job and lost my $75,000 or $150,000 a year job because I refused to go along with their program and stand my ground, or I caved in and I went out and because they threatened me with my job and my livelihood, I caved in because I was in fear of not being able to pay my bills and support my family, which is no reason to cave in, not in the long run, but I understand it. I think I try to understand it. Certainly isn't a level that I'm coming from, or that people that have insight, shamanistic insight, and just good intelligence, that's not where I'm coming from. In fact, I'm here to try to help those people that might succumb to this kind of thing. So think about the ramifications of this little incident today. I don't really, not too many things raise my eyebrows anymore. But boy, are they, I mean, they're already trying to spin this in the wrong way. The people that got caught with their pants down are going to get spanked severely, hopefully. Hung from the hanging tree. That's what they deserve. How many people's livelihoods and lives and children, grandchildren, elders are affected by this? And believe me, everybody has been affected by this. Everybody. So those who continue to, let's say, put blocks by censorship and other means in the ways of truth, you should be on notice now that the truth is going to come out eventually anyway, and you better start taking the tack, okay, that the justices took in covering your ass from the hanging tree. The hanging tree. That's what's coming. That's what's coming for these criminals, these psychopaths, these government officials like Biden and Fauci and all these organizations that are, quote, institutions that are supposed to have credence and that people can trust in. They're finding out now that that trust is being eroded. Once you open the Pandora's box, all the snakes come out. Once you open that box, the snakes start coming out and crawling everywhere. And once that happens, it's Katie bar the door for these people that propagate things like mandates or laws and this is this and you must do this because the governor said this and the Biden said that and this is this and this is that. Talk, 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 yak, 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 yak. And all these people that succumb to this, am I saying that this is such a major breakthrough, this is over? Well, no, it's not over till the people get in the fucking streets, grab their arms, and stand up to tyranny, realizing, that it's not about this side of the people that go along with the agenda and that side that doesn't and how they're turning them against one another. No, these people have to realize that there is a common enemy to both here. A common enemy to both. Turning one side against the other. Families against the other, like I said in my previous videos. Oh, I mean, if this gets moving, I'm definitely going to get a little bit more. I won't say hopeful. I'll say. Yeah, what's a good word here? Because I really hate the word hope. Hope, I hope this and I hope that. Let's just put it this way. The frequency of my spirit will rise a tad bit more as far as seeing movement in a positive direction. How's that? Because for so long now, it's been a negative direction, and it's been a mass psychosis. Okay? But when you start seeing cracks in the dam or the dike, well, then you realize that all that pressure, all that water pressure, all that pressure is going to break loose somehow. And it will break loose. It will break loose. I foresee something happening this year on two levels, breaking loose a consciousness and breaking loose something breaking loose on a natural level here. So those are my two things that I see. Something breaking loose on a consciousness level and something breaking loose on a spiritual level and a Mother Earth level. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to drag this on, so just thought I'd put it out there for you to think about. Adios till next time.